Okay, remember last week when the switches died and I said that I was going to test the UPS afterwards? Well, this UPS is really bad. Right now it says the battery capacity is 100%. And let's see, can I get to runtime? It says 61 minutes. I'm going to set this camera up on a tripod to show you what happens when I unplug it from the wall over here. And yes, this is how I'm recording these videos, and I also still don't know when I'll ever get this cable cleaned up. Anyway, watch what happens. I don't think I'm doing anything critical right now, which is important because everything turns off. That's not what's supposed to happen with the UPS. So because I unplugged it and everything shut down, my internet's down, the router is off, nothing is getting DNS, and the thing that really got me to replace this UPS today, which is what I'm about to do, is it ruined my time server. Something on there started messing up from power issues, the GPS module or something. And I was like, you know what? There's nothing that can come between me and having a good time. So I'm going to take this guy out and replace it with an Eaton, and then we might be able to debug this a little bit and see if it's just the batteries or something deeper. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to unplug this thing and hopefully get back up and running quickly here because I have a lot of stuff to do this week. It's the week before open source. So we're going to unplug everything and cross our fingers that the new UPS works a little bit better here. Also, after the last video, some people mentioned that these rack studs should be able to hold like 20 kilograms each or something like that. Whatever it was is a higher rating than I presumed it would be. So those switches could probably run off there, but I don't know. I still like having metal stuff for UPSs and heavy switches just for the extra safety margin. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Let's see if we can get you out of here. Oh, this is heavy. Okay, out with the CyberPower. Where am I going to set you? I don't know, I'll set you over here somewhere. And we're replacing it with a Smart 1500 LCD XNC, whatever that means. This was $550, something like that. The CyberPower, I think the reason I bought it was like $300, and I'm like, I just need a simple UPS for this rack. What could go wrong? Well, you pay more for features like making sure that it doesn't just die on you one day. Hopefully the battery testing on here is a little bit better. But I need to put the rack ears on, get this thing in, and meanwhile my internet's down, my network's down, my time services are down, so I want to have a good time again. This looks like these just, okay, never mind. They just pop off. I guess the question is, do you save these things or toss them? Maybe I'll save them. I have a box of old rack mount junk, so I'll just throw them in there, and then in 15 or 20 years somebody will throw these away anyway. I hope that if anybody ever considers mounting this on these screws in a wall, they make sure that it's solid wood and not drywall, because that'll just rip right out of a drywall. Are you gonna go in nicely? I didn't check the hole alignment. Oh no, I gotta move the cage nuts. Oh, come on. Grab the old cage nut tool. Getting them out shouldn't be too bad. It is a little harder than getting them in, though. Okay. Cage nut goes up one drawer higher. There we go. Well, that was annoying. And I didn't get any cuts, but I did get a little bit of black paint and metal shrapnel. This time for real. Oh, and I'm hitting the camera. Just gotta do it. There we are. Oh, get in there. Come on. Come on, come on. You can do it. Maybe not. Whew. Fun day Monday. Okay, thank you for focusing on my hands. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that this can be rotated so you can have the thing upright if you wanted. And then this one, you just do that to replace the battery, no screws required. and there's a quick connector here, which could be a blessing and a curse, but let's get this plugged in so my network's back up and I can upload this video later. This cable seems a little bit more substantial than the other one. CyberPower is just like everything 10% worse than the more expensive UPSs. Okay, we'll plug you in, and then I will work on the cable management later, getting this wired back up through here. Although I'll do this one just to give a little bit of cable. Oh, why not? I'll just put all these back in. Looks like this guy's already on. And what kind of settings do we get here? Okay. Looks like it's on. 60 Hertz. Nothing is being output. There's load 1, load 2, and load 3. So I guess you can prioritize loads or something like that. I'll read up on that again some other time in the future, maybe. Right now it's like 120 watts of load, so I'll just kind of go with what I get. Okay. Whew. Things should be booting up. Let's see how things are going here. Yep, we got time services coming back on. Flashing means it hasn't synchronized to NTP, which means that Pi is still booting up. But everything else is coming on. Security, cable modem. We should be getting back online soon. Oh, you know what? There's like the different load zones maybe. This is confusing me. I don't know. I think that it like separates out different zones. I'll have to check. I think they have some software that I can load if I want to check into that. But right now I just want my network up. And that's where we are. We have time. Hopefully the Pi will get the right time soon. And I can start having a good time again before I go off to open source. Okay, Mr. CyberPower comes over to the bench. And we're going to try to find out what is going on with you. So here's the thing. I can take out these batteries. I can take out these batteries and we'll go check them on the multimeter. So let's turn this thing on. Let's get some more light over here too. So I got negative into negative, and I'll do positive on here. And when we do that, we see 26, 27 volts, somewhere around there. So the batteries hold voltage, but that doesn't mean the batteries are good. It just means that the batteries can hold voltage. I would need to put a load on them to see if they're still good, which is what the UPS should do in a self-test cycle, but it apparently does not do that, as far as I can tell. So we're going to replace the batteries. I'm going to take these out of here. It looks like they just use like packing tape. Kind of an odd decision to hold this little bracket together. And I bought these batteries from Expert Power on Amazon. So these should be 12 volt, 9 amp hour, and these are, and they should be the same size physically, and they are. So I'm going to swap these out. That'll take a few minutes, and we'll test the new batteries in here and see if that was the issue. If not, then I have 2 extra batteries that cost about 25 bucks each. So yeah, I'm going to swap these out. We'll test it. We'll see how things go. I should probably mention, if you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with UPS battery swaps. You can usually buy packs like this pre-made, but they just cost more. But it's not like it's super dangerous or anything, but if you're not comfortable around electricity, don't mess with it. Son of a gun. Now I've smashed my thumb and bruised my ego. So they did packing tape, I'll do some packing tape. We'll see whose job is better. Okay, for the moment of truth, let's get this guy plugged in. New battery time. no sparks is good. Put you back on there. Okay, and I'll plug in the UPS. Okay, and we got a beep. It says battery capacity is 100%. So I need to plug in a load. Let's grab the soldering iron here because that'll be a good resistive load, at least for a little bit. Okay, 0 watts. I'll turn on Mr. Soldering Iron. Okay, I've turned on the soldering iron. It's getting up to 70. Okay, I'm going to unplug the UPS. And look, it's working. So it was just the batteries. And soldering iron is still heating up. So it's definitely the batteries bad on here, and it did not warn me. I mean, not every condition is going to be warned in every UPS. That's why you should always have some spares and plans for when your UPS goes bad. But it's rarely happened to me that the batteries die like this, and there's no indication on this that there's any problem. So I think the lesson to me is if you have a CyberPower like this, I'm going to plug it back in so it stops beeping at me. If you have a CyberPower like this, I would say maybe just replace the batteries preemptively every 2 years. You're not going to get 3 or 4 like my other UPSs. Or at least you can't guarantee that. And even if the battery cell voltage is testing fine, the batteries might not be able to take a load. And I think that's what was happening here, as far as I can tell. Anyway, if you have any other experiences with these CyberPowers or any other UPSs that you're using, let me know in the comments. And thanks to everybody who did comment about their experiences with this and with other solutions. Someday I might switch to lithium batteries or some other battery technology, but so far these big chunky UPSs are the most reliable if you buy from a brand that you trust. And I don't know how much I trust CyberPower. They're great for the price for short periods of time, but if you haven't replaced the batteries in yours and it's more than a couple years old, go do that right now. And I should mention this is something I normally do with all my UPSs, but I, for some reason, didn't do it that one. But I put a label when I buy it, and then I swap out the label when I put new batteries in, and I put 2026, and what's today? 0713 print. And be sure to put it somewhere nice and prominent so that you can see it when you're checking on things without having to remove the UPS. Don't put it inside a battery door or something. This should be very obvious when you replace the batteries. So in 2 years, I should replace these. And I might actually set up a reminder so I don't rely on me actually looking wherever I install this thing eventually. Maybe it could be like a little bench UPS for testing stuff. And make sure you subscribe to the main channel, because this little guy is going to show up there soon at Open Source. Fun little project. And there's a guy cutting the grass outside. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this up right there. Well, it can never be that easy. The cable modem here is not coming back up. You can see this is what it does. I have 4 times now done the 60-second, like, unplug, wait 60 seconds, plug it in, wait 10 minutes, unplug the router, so that this can come up. It's never come back up, and it keeps doing this. I went online and saw, like, okay, before you can get the actual phone number, you have to do the thing. So I did the thing, got the phone number, called the phone number. The phone number, after I did this was 3 times now. The phone number said, you have to do this before, we'll do anything else for you. And I could not say, like, operator, and get around to it. I couldn't say representative or, it locks you into that until you do this power cycle. And then it says, wait 10 minutes. I didn't wait 10 minutes. I only waited 2 minutes and called back, and it let me through finally. But then I was on hold for 20 minutes. This is Spectrum business. So, God forbid you ever have an outage, and it's critical. Like, I can live without this because all my stuff that I'm working on today can be internal, but if it was other days of the week, this would be really a game stopper. But anyway, now I'm going to wait at least a day. They said they don't have any appointments today left. And it could be 2 days before I get primary internet back up. So I'm going to have to find a way to get something else for the studio for today. Not a huge deal. I can tether to my phone, but I'm only going to be getting like 50 megabits. That's not great cell coverage in here. But yeah, change out your UPS, everything else breaks. This is a wonderful start to the Monday. At least this UPS is working well. I really like that it actually leaves the screen on all the time. I noticed when I came back in here that it was still showing the screen. I didn't have to press a button. So I can see how many watts stuff is using. And this varies between 80 to 100 watts. And I have it on my task list to add nut to this rack. Right now I have nut in the big rack over here, but I do not have nut in this rack. So maybe I'll do that someday, or it will just stay on my to-do list like it has for the past 2 years.